Hi friends, it's Elizabeth from Echo with Science and Stories. Are you ready to do some science with me today? Let's start with our song. Are you ready? Hello to everyone, and how are you today? We've come to our science time to laugh and sing and play. And when you're up, put your hands way up high. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're neither up nor down. So roll your hands so slowly, and then roll your hands so fast. Give your hands a clap, 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 and lay them in your lap, lap, lap. I brought my science bag with me today. Let's see what's inside. Let's investigate. What do you think is in here today? It feels a little different than last time I had it in my hands. We're going to be scientists today and use all of our senses to see if we can figure out what's inside the science bag. Can you use all of your senses, just like scientists do? Yeah, we use our eyes to see, our ears to hear. We'll use our nose to smell and our mouth to taste, and then we'll use our fingers to touch. And then we'll learn so much. You ready? All right, scientists, use your eyes. Take a look at the science bag today. It looks really different than last time. It's kind of heavy. What is it shaped like? Do you recognize that shape? Let's use our ears to hear. I don't hear anything. Do you hear anything? What if I knock on it? See if it's hard. Listen close. Yeah, it makes a sound. Listen. What makes that sound like that when you knock on it? If I knock up here, will it sound the same? That's different. It also, it feels really different. If I feel over here, it's hard. But when I feel in here, it's kind of squishy and wet. I feel something wet through the bag. Do you see how it's making the bag wet? What is it? Oh, there's a round shape right here, a round shape down there, something in there that's wet. It's kind of heavy. I'm going to try and throw it up in the air. Use your eyes. Watch close. 1, 2, 3. I couldn't throw it up very high. It seemed like it's a little unstable, and it came down with a thud. Do you have some ideas? Do you want to make a prediction of what I'm going to pull out of the bag? That's your best guess. All right, make a prediction. Say it out loud. Or you can keep it in your head. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, did you guess? Did you predict that it was? What is this? I'm going to put my hand in and see if we can find out. Should I do it? I'm going to do it. 1, 2, 3. It's squishy and mucky. It smells. We can use our nose to smell. It smells earthy. Not something you'd want to taste. What is it? Oh my gosh, I've made a mess. Oh, it feels so good in my fingers though. It's mud. You know mud is just the right consistency for a good mud pie when you can make a mud ball with it. This is good mud. I can make some good mud pies with this. Have you been outside to make some mud pies? You know that mud is a sign of spring. We talked about signs of spring when we were together last time. Mud is a definite sign of spring here in Vermont. And right now it's mud season. That's what happens right at the beginning of spring. Oh, and I've made a mucky mess. Let's see if I can clean that up. I'm curious, how do you make mud? Have you made mud before? I know where to find mud. Outside right now, there's some muddy spots. But what if I wanted to make mud myself? How do I do that? What do I need? What are the ingredients of mud? Do you know? Let's do some research. I've got a research book with me today. This research book is called Mud by Mary Lyn Ray, illustrated by Lauren Stringer. Let's see if we can answer our science question today. How do you make mud? I've got muddy fingers to read my book today. Mud. Glorious mud. Looks like this piece of paper is sprinkled with mud. One night, it happens. What happens? Maybe it begins in the warm of the day, and night only releases the scent. But it's always at night that it happens. Someone opening a door will notice the earth has come unfrozen. A cold, sweet smell rises in the ground like sap in the snow. By morning, brown leaves loosen from their frozen drifts and run rattling in the flapping wind. Small, scattered stones, where the sun has seen them, will thaw pools of grass. The hills will remember their colors. Winter will squish, squick, sop, splat, slurp, melt into mud. Happy mud. Stir it. Stick it. Dig it, dance it. Gooey, gloppy, mucky, magnificent mud. Come spring, come grass, come green. The end. What did we learn about making mud? Do you have some ideas? Let's do some mud making tests together. If we're going to do some mud making science tests, we need some of the things they talked about in the book. I remember that in the story it said that the earth came unfrozen, and that's when all the mud making started. So when things come unfrozen, it turns into water, right? I know that. So I think we need some water for our mud making. And the mud that I felt in the science bag was definitely wet. So we'll start with water. What else do we need? I remember that the story talked about stones. Do you remember the stones in the story? I have a cup of small stones. Maybe if I add water to the stones and mix it up, it will make mud. Let's try it. Here's some water. We'll pour a little bit in. I'll take my mixing stick, mix it around. Now remember, if mud is the right consistency, you can make a mud ball. Let's see if I can make a mud ball now. Uh-oh. What happened? This is not good mud pie making mud. The stones are not making mud with the water. We're going to have to try something else. How about leaves? I remember in the story it talked about leaves. Those kind of slimy, mucky leaves that spent the whole winter underneath the snow and now they've melted out. They might make good mud. They feel like they could. They're a little slimy. Let's try that. We'll mix our water with our mucky leaves. I'll stir it around with my stick. Oh, this looks more promising in the cup. What do you think? Am I going to be able to make a nice mud ball? Is this good pie making mud? Going in. It feels much better than the rocks. I'm trying to make a mud ball with it. It does make the mud ball at first, but then it comes open and falls right back into my cup. I don't think that's going to make a good mud pie. What do you think? Let's try something else. There was a lot of dirt in the story. So I have some dirt. It's dry dirt. It's not good ball making dirt right now. What should I do? Should I add some water? Let's try. A little bit of water. Mix it around with the stick. This is looking pretty good. Am I going to be able to make a ball? Oh, it feels good. It's coming together. I think I'd like to add a little bit more dirt. But look, it does have a good squish between my fingers. I think this would make an excellent pie. Dirt and water make good mud. But this is not enough to make a mud pie. I know where I can find more mud though. Outside. You might want to go outside today and see if you can find some mud and squish it between your fingers. Make some mud balls and see if you can make some mud pies. If you would rather have some clean muddy fun, I have some ideas for that too. Let me show you. For some clean muddy fun, try making some Play-Doh. I made some mud Play-Doh. It was really easy. Get a grown-up to help you with a cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of salt, and a tablespoon and a half or so of cooking oil. Mix it all together in a bowl. You can add colors to it, but I wanted mine to look like mud. So I added some coffee grounds to my dough and squished it around. Now I can squish it through my fingers just like mud. Or I can push some stones into it like we read in the story. There were some stones in the mud. Do you know some animals that like the mud? I have a turtle. Turtles like mud. I'm going to put him in there too. Maybe a frog. You can have some good, clean, muddy fun with your mud Play-Doh. Try it. Also, I have some shaving cream. Do you have any of this around the house? Ask a grown-up if you can use it. I'm going to just put some down here on my tray and mix it together with my fingers. Oh, that feels good. I'm squishing between my fingers just like the mud. It feels muddy. It doesn't look muddy. I think I'll add some of my coffee grounds in there. Mix that around. Oh yeah, that's better. Maybe even a drip or two of brown paint. Let's mix that in and see what we get. Oh yeah, that's looking better. That looks like mud. It feels like mud too. The coffee grounds make it feel gritty and mucky. Oh yeah. That feels great. I'm going to make some muddy handprints. Where should I make them? Maybe on some paper. I won't do it on the walls or on the table. There's my muddy handprints. Give it a try. It smells clean, but it feels mucky, just like our outdoor mud. So make some mud and have some clean fun indoors, and then go outdoors and have some mucky fun in the mud that we have here in Vermont right now during mud season. Bye. I'll see you next time.